Hi, Ben.
Hey.
It's actually funny, 3 nights ago I was watching this video of you destroy Piers Morgan, and I was like, wow, I really want Ben to come here, and I found out today that you're here, so I'm really happy about that. So first I'd like to say that it seems like the abortion argument only became a women's right issue after the argument from science failed for them. I'm only 21, but it seems to me like the argument, from what I remember, it started off as being science-based with like a human at conception. It's just a zygote, like a zygote of a monkey, a fish, a dolphin, whatever. And I remember like seeing images in middle school of them showing like the early development and showing how like, oh, there's no difference here. So, but then through like research in embryology, we find out like the DNA genetic template is there, human, like what you're gonna be, it's there from the beginning, it says it all. So, to my question, in a society today where specifically women have been so successfully convinced that an abortion isn't to be frowned upon, how can we convince young women to not get abortions when the voice of abortions aren't bad seems to be louder than the voice of like personal responsibility and like basic morality?
So, I mean, I think that the first thing is that, again, people blind themselves to answers they don't want to see. And it's our job to break through that. So I've spoken about this. I hate euphemisms with regard to abortion. Abortion is filled with euphemisms. The woman's right to choose. It's just terminating a pregnancy. No, you are killing a human life in the womb. And we should describe in graphic detail exactly what happens when that happens. Okay, when you're talking about a middle to late stage fetus that is developed, you're talking about, in many cases, the actual dismemberment of a human being in the womb. You're talking about crushing skulls and sucking brains into sinks. You're talking about torturing a child in the womb and then killing it. And that has to be brought out because people need to feel the gut-wrenching nature of what it is that is being conducted. They also need to be shown as many pictures as possible of what a baby looks like in the womb, because there is still you can make the intellectual argument for an embryo having the same moral value as a 7-month-old fetus, and I think that that's a pretty good argument, actually. But I think that the emotional argument is seeing a picture of the 7-month-old fetus. And when you know that you can tell the sex of your baby at 10 weeks, which you can, then it's very difficult to argue that this is not an independent human being with an independent DNA, with independent blood type. The more scientific knowledge that we put out there, the worse it gets for the left. And this is why this is one of the few issues where the right is actually moving in the right direction in terms of the polls. If you look at the abortion statistics and how many people actually believe in the pro-choice position, it's been declining steadily over the last 15 years, and it's going to get a lot worse because the better we can see into the womb, the more difficult it is for the pro-choice left to suggest that this is not a human life, it's just a cluster of cells.
Thank you.
Thanks.